chat. Happy Tuesday, February 1st, 2022. 2022, man. 2122. What's up, guys? How'd you do last night? You alright? Should've. Did you fade Andre Drummond? If you did, he can't hurt you anymore. He's gone, but you shouldn't have faded him. That was ridiculous. Why would you do that? Last night, your top scorers on DraftKings. Steph Curry, 66.75 DKP. Shout out to Kevin Porter Jr. for the stare down. And Steph Curry's like, oh yeah? you want something to look at? Look at this. And laid it on him. Andre Drummond, number 2 on the board. 62.25 DraftKings fantasy points. 43 minutes played. 16 real points. 23 rebounds. 5 assists and 3 blocks, 2 steals. We talked about the block potential against the Memphis Grizzlies. Tyrese Maxey, 57.75 DKP. Desmond Bane, 52. Christian Wood, 50.25. John Morant, 48. Tobias Harris, 47. Isaiah Jackson, 29 minutes, 26 real points, 10 rebounds. I went into battle on Fanduel, basically locking in Drummond, Isaiah Jackson, and Josh Giddey, and then just kind of went from there. And by default, I ended up with a bunch of Steph Curry. So it was a really, really nice. We had a really good night on DraftKings last night. Really good night on PrizePicks. Amir Coffee locked the drink, 45 fantasy points. Gary Trent Jr., 46. Gary Trent went bananas, 31 real points last night. 9 threes. Raptors all with 40s because they all play 40 minutes, and it's nuts. Andrew Wiggins, 42 fantasy points against the Houston Rockets. Kevin Love, potential 6th man of the year, not getting love. Tyler Hero, move aside. Kevin Love, without Darius Garland, 15 real points, 11 boards, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 33 minutes. Pretty efficient game there. And through and through, everything else was pretty par for the course. You guys do all right? Who tilted you? Who hurt you? Let me know. Yeah. Shout out to Lorenz in the chat. Josh, Mighty Saint, Luis, Jay Smooth, Damu, Skimmer, Marye, Josh Redfoot. Gun signed a 10-day contract with Golden State today, man. Steve Kerr called me up. And he's like, yo, you in Texas, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, are you vaxxed? I was like, I'm immunized. And then it got awkward, and he hung up. Gun having fun double dipping. Man, yesterday I quad dipped, bro. What you mean? Audio sounds weird. Yo, don't lie to me, man. Yesterday, somebody said that in chat, and I changed it, and it made it worse. And it turned out just that one person had it wrong. So, chat, let me know if my audio is different. But I got trolled yesterday, and it resulted in like 5 minutes of not great television. Yeah. What up, my Saint Fish fan? Keith Seal, 414 was your best on FanDuel. Nice. I heard the cash line was pretty high on a lot of spots. The cutoff was about 380. Yeah, it was a ridiculous cash line. A lot of really high ownership on Drummond, on Isaiah Jackson, guys that were just obvious. And, it happens, man. When people get rolled out, pricing becomes inefficient in some spots. I don't know that Andre Drummond should ever be under 4K. Like, that should just not happen. There's a couple of guys that maybe should just be prevented from ever being that at that price point. DeMarcus Cousins, right? In case Boogie ever, got ruled out. Andre Drummond's one of those guys. It just shouldn't happen at all. So DraftKings, take notes. FanDuels, I don't know. I guess, it is whatever. But it just creates a literal free square, which I don't hate, but it does also result in high.
Let's go home.
Let's go home.
Let's go home. Let's go home. Let's go home.
I am still the largest D in here.
New month, right? Largest D is the largest cumulative amount of super chats in the month. So February 1, we wiped the board, and Fish fan who won January comes in swanging. So if you guys want to compete with him, you know what to do. You're different. I'm different. He's different. What up, Sean? What up, Sid? J. Cole in the chat. It's some Android users. What up, Matt? What up, Justin? Man, did I miss anybody? My bad if I missed anybody. Yesterday we hit 2 records, by the way. I do need to point that out. So we can be cognitive of if it happens today. We hit a concurrent viewership record for the season and also a like record. So if the steam picks up and later on today we notice some numbers are getting crazy, the numbers we need to keep in mind are yesterday 292 was our peak concurrent viewership, almost to 300, almost, not quite. So if we start seeing 290s, just know 292 is the record. I think we ended up with 170 likes. So one of these days we're gonna get a 300, 200, right? And that's just gonna be epic. So we'll keep an eye on that. We have a pretty nice slate today, 7-game slate. Most of it locks within the first hour and a half, and then there's an island game at 9 p.m. The Suns hosting the Brooklyn Nets. So should be an easy slate to navigate early on. We should be able to react accordingly to the news that does drip out, and then hopefully it doesn't mess up too much of what we need to do, what we want to do. In the last hour, I did an NBA PrizePicks player prop stream where we focused on individual spots that we want to attack for PrizePicks. If you guys haven't been made aware of that show, it's been in the rotation now for maybe 2 weeks now. Pretty good conversations every day. Today, me and Josh looked at like 4 or 5 picks we really like. But while we were talking about it, the Warriors rolled out everybody. So it's going to be another spot where they punt the game. We saw them do this, I guess, the Pelicans not too long ago. And everyone ran to load up on like Gary Payton and guys like that. And really no one was a good play. So I don't know if it's going to be a similar scenario here. But since that news came out, the line moved, I think, like 5.5 points, I think. And then like the total went down. I'm expecting even more movement as more time progresses, right? That's a word. I don't know. The Gov, what up, Gov? You got it. I remember your streams were video less. Yeah, that was way back when, man. It took me a while to get to join the webcam gang. I just thought it was weird that people wanted to see people's faces. The content, the spreadsheet, that's where it's at. But the people want what the people want, and I guess I get it. I watch a lot of Twitch streamers, and it's you feel more personable if you can see somebody. So also, I'm ugly, right? So I didn't want to. Yeah. All right, Fish. See ya. What up, Tyrell? Don't shoot. I'm not shooting. I did move. We moved the setup from a corner, I guess what was supposed to be a kitchen, and they were using it as a kitchen, into the bedroom. Hopefully this will help us lessen the train noise. I'm still gonna hear it kind of, but it shouldn't be as bad. Added some lighting, new green screen. We still got the other one, and then I let Daniel take over the old hub. So it should help with the the flow of the house. But if you notice some weird stuff, like if the mic levels sound different or the lighting is different, that's that. This is all weird. It's like an actual, photo shoot light with an umbrella. It's popping back at me. I feel like Hollywood, right? I need to get my makeup did. Yeah. So don't want to see Raj if that can be. I think Jake's the only guy that doesn't join the cam gang in terms of content creators here. So yeah, let's start talking about tonight's slate. Before I do that, let you guys know RunDFS.com is the place to be, man. If you guys want to get access to my proprietary spreadsheets, projections, my player pool, and perhaps most valuable, my premium community here, RunDFS.com, premium Discord. Go to RunDFS.com, get yourself a membership. This Discord includes that new Prize Picks and Props channel. It's fun watching these guys sweat. Yesterday we had a fun sweat with Bam Adebayo's assist. For they had him at 4 and then they pulled him. And we were like, oh man, what a bad beat. And then they stat corrected him. Stat corrections never go your way, right? But they stat corrected him to 5. And it was Bing Bong City, man. I guess I can scroll up and maybe show the sweat, man. But so many people cleared a lot of money last night. I think Josh cleared $1,000 in profit. Yeah, look at this. Look at Josh, absolutely killing it. Had Tobias Harris over 3.5 assists with Embiid. Yep, Drummond over 24.5 PRA. What a joke that was. Jason Tatum over 4 assists. A couple of these guys, a couple of these lines were hitting by 1, but man, it was a good night through and through, man. So if you guys want to join the prop hunt party, you're more than welcome to. Come check out rundfs.com. But we're still keying in on DFS, right? And every day before lock, I'm in this voice chat chopping up DFS, talking my player pool, and you guys are welcome to jump in that. Today we launched, it is February, right? A little love, little Valentine vibes out here. The year pass is back up. We still have the All-Star special. If you guys want to get some bulk discount, the All-Star specials until the MLB All-Star break, and I think it's July 20th, and then the year pass gets you locked in for the rest of the year. Take this $150 credit towards Fantasy Cruncher for the year pass, and then there's 5. It can be used only 5 times. The promo code VDAY. I'll show you. If you clicked on year pass, it's only for the year pass, but the promo code VDAY, if you have a coupon, yeah, click it, and then you type VDAY. It will bring the $5.39 price to $4.99, so you're gonna save $40 there. So if you do the math here with the promo code, let me type calculator. We need a calculator up because my brain hurts doing math and numbers. Take $4.99 and you minus $150 Fantasy Cruncher credit. That's $349 essentially for the year. Like, that's ridiculous. So go take advantage of that. Good way to support the stream, support the site, and let me grind for you, right? PP was lit last night. Yes, sir. The amount of knowledge in the prop channel Run DFS is sick. Easy. Yeah, man. Shout to Sid. Hey, Sid's a great example, right? Sometimes DFS gets overwhelming. You want a real life. You got a wife that you got to make happy. And DFS is just a grind, man. The news comes out. You got to adjust your lineups and react accordingly. With the props, it's a little bit different, man. You can just lock it in. You sweat the singular action of events to happen, and you don't have to face fat guys with no lives like me that can reswap all throughout the night. So key news to watch. Shout out to Underdog. As of 3 p.m. Eastern, Nikola Jokic questionable, James Harden probable, DeAndre Ayton questionable, D'Angelo Russell's doubtful, Brandon Ingram's questionable, Patrick Beverley's probable, Jay Crowder questionable, PJ Tucker questionable, Javonte Green questionable, and then of course all of the Warriors out. Nemanja Bjelica, Otto Porter, Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry, all rolled out here. So complete punt game for the Warriors. Let's dive into it. Let's go game by game here. If you guys got some fire plays, share it with the class if we can help it. Maybe time it as we're on the game. And no bad question, no bad suggestions, man. It's all love, all positive vibes. If you got a hunch on somebody, or you want maybe a second set of eyes to look at a thought, drop it in chat, man. Let's get it done. Pelicans at the Pistons. First game on the docket. Devontae Graham, Garrett Temple, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, and Jonas Valanciunas taking on Corey Joseph, Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, and Isaiah Stewart. Jeremy Grant back in the lineup here for the Pistons. Pistons actually a 2-point favorite with a 216 total. Very rare that you see the Pistons listed as a favorite here, but with Jeremy Grant back in this lineup, Sadiq Bey, Cunningham, Isaiah Stewart, I definitely think that they profile as the better team than the Pelicans. Pelicans night 2 of a back-to-back, potentially without Brandon Ingram, who hasn't played in quite some time here. So what does this mean for us for DFS? Well, first of all, if Ingram can't go, I definitely want to keep Jonas Valanciunas in my back pocket. We'll go pull up the advanced on-off court tool over at addmorefunds.com. The NBA Wowie tool is so good. ! AMF in chat if you guys want to access it. They have a free version. I use the sponsored version, but free is nice too. Let's pull up the Pelicans here. Let's put JVal on, and let's take off Ingram just to get a basic number for usage and assist rates and all that good stuff. We also have Josh Hart out. So we mentioned some stuff about JVal on the PrizePicks stream earlier, but looking at this on-off court tool, just straight up JVal on, Ingram off. JVal has a 27.5% usage rate, $1.25 fantasy point per minute on DraftKings, 17% assist rate, and a rebound rate that is, exceeding 40%. And you think about Josh Hart's game. Josh Hart does do a lot of rebounding. So let's take off Josh Hart here. Maybe we'll see if these offensive and defensive rebound numbers go up. 31% defensive rebound rate with a 15% offensive rebound rate. So that's, Jesus, that's a lot. So keeping PrizePicks in mind, because I don't want to just abandon them just because we're talking DFS a little bit more. Jonas Valanciunas might have some fun numbers to attack. Now, again, Brandon Ingram's not officially out, but he's been trending closer to out because he hasn't played in a while. But hey, maybe they saved him last night to play today. J-Val, 18.5 points as his point prop, 11.5 rebounds as his rebound prop, and 33.5 PRA. And I think that PRA is probably the line I want to attack unless J-Val is a big block guy. Got 2 blocks last night, but maybe PRA is the way I want to go. He does turn the ball over enough to maybe neutralize the blocks anyway. So yeah, maybe we keep an eye on his PRA here, but also just keep an eye on the Ingram news. On the Pistons side, Cade Cunningham has moved to AK in the absence of Jeremy Grant. He's assumed, the team leading usage rates, but I am curious to see how Jeremy Grant meshes back in, because Grant earlier this season was, the catalyst of this team, the big usage guy. So I wonder if all these guys are priced at a spot where they can cannibalize each other and we can kind of move forward without them, even though it is a plus matchup. Pelicans defensively project as, bottom 5, right? So I feel like my knee-jerk reaction here is going to be to not play any Pistons here, but do you guys think that's a mistake? Is Jeremy Grant expected to be on any type of limit? Is he for sure starting? They also, I guess they don't have Olynyk, right? Olynyk. Oh, no, they do. I do have Olynyk. So they could have Olynyk, Trey Lyles, Ham Diallo, Jeremy Grant. So they're annoyingly healthy, and they're all pretty priced up. So Cade Cunningham this season with Jeremy Grant on the court, 25% usage rate, actually lower than Jeremy Grant in those minutes, and 25% assist rate. So still a point per minute, but at these price points, I'm feeling like I'm not that enamored to get to the spot. Low projected pace here. If we go pull up this team metrics chart and sort it by pace, we'll find that the the Pelicans and Detroit are neutral to slow in projected pace. I guess Detroit's a little bit above league average. And then when it comes to defensive efficiency, the Pelicans have a bottom 8 defensive rating, and the Pistons are right behind them. So should be slower in pace, but neither team playing especially great defense. So I am interested in J-Val. I'm mostly interested if J-Val can get some run without Brandon Ingram here. Looking at the injury news and notes for the Pelicans here, I'm pretty sure it's just going to say questionable, but we got to do our due diligence, right? We got to uncover everything that we can. Ingram is questionable with a right ankle. He's missed 5 straight games, which has opened up a starting spot for Garrett Temple. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not playing Garrett Temple today. So that's what we're watching. But Josh Hart out, I think it's significant enough that I would still be interested in Jonas Valanciunas no matter what. I think he's cheap enough on both sides that he can give me 40 plus fantasy points. If Ingram is out, it's just that much more. And the Pistons are a team that I can pick on with a little bit of points in the paint. We know J-Val could stretch a little bit if he has to and chuck a few threes a game. Chris Smith's new taco soon. Yeah, I think it's going to be Chris Paul and Van Vliet assists is what I saw earlier. So if you guys are looking for some easier props to attack on PrizePicks, look out for that. It's like a $20-$25 max bet. If you're in the Discord, I'm sure they'll tag you when it's live. And then it's only good for a couple hours, right? Anthony says, why does that screen say largest D? What chat is this? You know what it is. You know what it is. Come on, Ant. Listen, all of Golden State is out. The site will continue to just get crazy. Go ahead and sit down, Joker. Yeah. What up, Obi-Wan? Yo, Obi, did you try to email me earlier or on Twitter? One of you guys, either I'm getting finessed or one of you guys that won week pass yesterday tried to email me and it wouldn't. When I try to reply, it was like a mailer Damon, right? It was like email doesn't exist. So somebody typed their wrong email and I couldn't get back to them. But if only you and Hater Alonso won. So either somebody's trying to finesse me or you gotta, retouch out with me. But shout out to Obi-Wan, literally. Wizards at the Bucks. Project starting 5 for the Wizards: Spencer Dinwiddie, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Danny Advia, Kyle Kuzma, Thomas Bryant taking on Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, Chris Middleton, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Bobby Portis as the center. 229.5 star total. 11.5 point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. Bradley Beal out for the Wizards. Very significant information on the Wizards side here. They're coming in as double-digit road dogs, and that could be bad for DFS, could be bad for props. It could also be a little bit deceptive or maybe negative causation of us to stay away from a uptick in usage spots here. I did just go over Spencer Dinwiddie. His production in the absence of Bradley Beal this season has been really, really good, but really attackable from a prop standpoint as well. Spencer Dinwiddie, FTP by game log without Bradley Beal. Let's go last 10 games. So it's really just this season. Not yen, you'll do it to the 8. Okay, so then somebody's trying to finesse me on Twitter. Somebody named Hollywood. That's why I say you guys got to type your Twitter handle in the chat. So I'll take care of that, unless that was Hateronzo. In which case, Hateronzo, say what's up. This season, without Bradley Beal, 34, 23, 27, 21, 17, 24, 22, 17, 27. You sunk my battleship. Those are all of your real point totals for Spencer Dinwiddie in the absence of Bradley Beal. He does assume a little bit more responsibility on scoring. All of those numbers, clear 15.5 points, which is his point prop today. So if you put the pressure on the Wizards here to play from behind, score, and not only just score, but score from behind or beyond the paint, it profiles well for Spencer Dinwiddie to clear that prop on PrizePicks. So if you guys want to get behind that, go for it. He's also really reasonably priced on both sides for his uptick in usage. Dominic with the sub, man. Welcome to the channel. If we go to the on-off court tool and pull up Washington, put Dinwiddie on the court. Let's put Dinwiddie and Kuzma on the court, because those are the two featured guys that we want to get behind, and we'll take Beal off of the court. Wasn't me, it was sleeping. Oh, hater Alonzo. Somebody is trying to finesse me then. Oh, man. Gotta handle that. I gotta handle that. I literally set this guy up thinking it's one of you guys. AKA Hollywood. Yeah, he got me. It's all right. We'll handle that. On the on-off court tool, Kuzma, Dinwiddie on, Beal off. Dinwiddie, 23.2% usage rate. Kuzma, 27% usage rate. 1.16 DKP points per minute on really both of them. And a similar number for Fanduel. Now, our memories of similar games this season without Bradley Beal might be a little deceptive, right? Kuzma was going bonkers. That was a stretch of games without Rui Hachimura. Montrezl Harrell missed a little bit. Thomas Bryant was out. So I'm a little bit trepidatious on loving both of them a lot. Maybe more so Kuzma. But I still think the price point on Dinwiddie, 6.3 on FanDuel, 59 on DraftKings, it's a little bit too cheap, with the average expectation being him clearing 30 fantasy points on both sites. So I like him on PrizePicks. I like him on DFS as well. And some murmurs in the Twitter sphere of maybe the team not liking Spencer Dinwiddie's presence. I don't know how true that is, but maybe we'll see that reflected with on-court play. Thomas Bryant in the starting lineup here for the Wizards as well. I wish I could believe in Bryant's minutes here, because he really profiles as the archetype big I like to play against the Bucks. Bucks limit points in the paint, but they funnel shots to the perimeter. But this front court's so busy with Bryant, Montrezl Harrell, Daniel Gafford's in the mix as well, that I just don't really get to any of this front court with high level of confidence. The bulk of my interest is going to be Dinwiddie and Kuzma. Do you guys have any secondary interest or tertiary interest and Corey Kispert at really, really cheap. Danny Avdia really, really cheap. Guys that might be leaned on to shoot a couple more threes. Let me know. I'm uncomfortable getting there. I feel like most of my punt salary right now is probably going to be attached to the Golden State Warriors, and I don't even like feel great about that. But I feel less great about Danny Avdia from day to day. On the Bucks side here, they should clear this game pretty easily. Right now, projected to be full strength. Only Brook Lopez and George Hill listed as out. So if they are full strength, then it's not going to be a rest game for anyone. 75 to 7,700 Drew Holiday. I'm looking for 40 plus as a bare bones baseline. Chris Middleton, kind of the same. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis. Now, Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be an intriguing talking point here because as of right now, Jokic is still questionable, not guaranteed to play, and that would probably introduce Giannis as the top fantasy point projection on the slate, at least in my model, and probably a lot of models as well. Maybe Karl-Anthony Towns could get up there. D-Russ being doubtful. James Harden is back in the mix in a 230 total, so he could be up there as well. But the point being, Giannis Antetokounmpo very well could be the top projected raw fantasy point scorer on the slate, which might increase his ownership. And then we got to wrestle with the scoreboard. But we have seen Giannis really stat pad even in lopsided games. So just go out there and get that triple double, and especially in front of a home crowd. So Giannis is going to profile well. He's 12K on DraftKings. A couple hours ago that was going to be a little harder to get than it is now. And 11K on FanDuel, again, probably not going to be that hard to get to an 11K forward on FanDuel with typically as loose as their pricing is, just as is, and then as more value opens up and as we start to discover and attach ourselves to Golden State Warriors. So if you think raw points is raw points, if Giannis gets 60, 70 fantasy points, that dog will hunt, especially if Jokic doesn't play, right? So that's where I'm at there. I don't have a strong lean on Middleton, Drew Holiday exposure. Bobby Portis is always going to hurt me when he's 6K because the upside on that price point we know is just really, really high. And the Wizards give up most of their fantasy points per game to the center spot. So it's a good spot for Portis to pick up 30 plus fantasy points at a reasonable price on both FanDuel and DraftKings. So I probably get to tier 2 levels of them as a baseline and kind of go from there. And then with George Hill out, just safety, safer minute expectations for Grayson Allen, Dante DiVincenzo, Pat Connaughton. I have them all right about 28 minutes apiece. And the best projection, it's really not standing out, right? They all come in at about the same fantasy point projection. So I might just spin the wheel, make a deal with one of those guys elevating. But if I get to none of them, I'm probably not going to lose any sleep tonight. Abel, what up, Abel? Good call on questioning Giddey with the lack of scoring with Shy out. Yeah, man, they're they blew out the Blazers, right? So that was weird. But I was more onto his PRA. I actually think he missed his PRA by a hook. Like I think he had 30, and I think the PRA was at 30.5. The guy I was really questioning for scoring yesterday was Bam Adebayo against the Celtics, and I think that call ended up being pretty sharp. I think he had 12 real points, and they had his line at like 20. So if you had the stones to get on that one, good for you and me. What do you say about Van Vliet on PrizePicks? I'm sorry I missed it. I don't think I had a Van Vliet opinion today that I recall. He plays 40 minutes a game. Oh, anything is live when you're on the court for 40 minutes, right? Wasn't you? All right. What up, Willie? What up, Lamont? Welcome back. Bobby P on the glass tonight. I can get behind that. Sure. 141 of you guys already, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Where are we at on the likes? Remember, what's the numbers? We're at 52 likes. So the records, man. If we're trying to break records, we were at 292 concurrent yesterday. I'll type it. And then 170 live likes. That's the records. That's what we're trying to get after and raise our jersey in the Raptors, be next to Tom Brady, right? Bulls hosting the Orlando Magic. Projection 35 for the Magic. Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Bamba. He's got hose calling. And the Chicago Bulls, they're throwing out Ayo Dosunmu. Zach LaVine, Javonte Green, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic. We got a 223 total, 9-point spread in favor of this home team, Chicago Bulls. Orlando Magic, although fully healthy, still not a great offense. They represent one of the worst offensive ratings in all of basketball. So their viability and liability, I would say, to get blown out is live anytime they touch the court. They are better than just the Pistons and just the Thunder on the season offensively, with a net rating of minus 8.2. So not too far off from this -9 spread in favor of the Chicago Bulls here. So you always got to wrestle with, do they stay close? Let's go home.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go home. Let's go home. Let's go home.
Van Vliet has the taco fight. Okay, so Van Vliet and Chris Paul tacos were the Taco Tuesdays today. Yo, Squeak, man, appreciate that. Shout out to Squeak Diesel with the so that's not a super chat, right? What is that? What do they call that? Like a super emoji or something like that? Aaron Campbell, Gunn is the absolute best at answering chat. Man, I appreciate that, Aaron. Shout out to Alan. I lost my train of thought. Oh, Van Vliet's the taco. Yeah, so Van Vliet assist and Chris Paul assist is what we're expecting today. The promotion, the Taco Tuesday promotion on PrizePicks. So I would definitely, like, if they're gonna discount Van Vliet, then yes, I'm definitely interested in that. And like we said, he plays so many minutes. Is that up yet or not? Shout out to Hose. Just got a DM. All right. Here it says, "Hey, you called me out on the live stream. I sent you a message. Getting them too. Hope you're not getting this fan for me. Was a winner today. What do I do to get started?" Man, Hollywood, if you just messaged me, feels like you were trying to finesse me, but we'll get to the bottom of it. If you think you won the week pass yesterday, you didn't. It was Hateronzo and Obi-Wan. Neither of which are you. So, yeah. So I'm willing to forgive if you're not trying to finesse me, but you did not win the week pass yesterday. So that's what that is. It just dropped 5.5 assists. Okay. So PrizePicks, Fred Van Vliet. Usually the taco shows up right away. There it is. 5.5 assists from 7. So against Miami, yeah, that's very reasonable. The benefit here. So first of all, Fred Van Vliet. We'll go back to the Bulls game here in just a second. Fred Van Vliet averages 7 assists per game on the season. He's playing 40 minutes a game right now. And the Miami Heat, they push a lot of opponent offense to the backcourt anyway. So yeah, I'd be more than fine with taking Van Vliet's 5.5 assists for the minutes that he plays. So with the Bulls and the Magic, right? Magic really tough offensively, but a couple of prices stand out for the Magic. Really, all of these guys can get there at their price points individually. 6,500 for Cole Anthony, certainly somebody that has a range of outcome of 40+ fantasy points. The Bulls' backcourt defense does take a little bit of a step backwards without Lonzo Ball, without Alex Caruso. So maybe a more positive matchup for him. Jalen Suggs also, liable to have 30+ fantasy point games. Same with Franz Wagner. Everyone individually, I think it's justifiable. It feels like everyone is loving some Wendell Carter Jr. revenge narrative today. He's got a couple of games of sample size going against his former Bulls team as recently as, 2 weeks ago. 3 games this season, he's averaging 41 fantasy points. The game on the 23rd, he got to 34 fantasy points. 6K, 34, very reasonable. We'll take that. I got him projected for 35, 33. So all that is there. A lot of us are on some of his PrizePicks numbers as well. But everything is live here. Again, we're just wrestling with this game being competitive. And we also have RJ Hampton. out. We already, we've had MCW, Fultz, and Isaac out all year, but Hampton has been out for a couple games now, so maybe it narrows down our guard rotation. Anyway, on the Bulls side, Levine, DeRozan, Vucevic, the big three, if you will. They do kind of, it feels like they could cannibalize each other from a ceiling standpoint, and this game expected to be low in pace, 98 and 98 pace rating here, with a 223 total. Total's okay for that type of pace because the Magic defense is so bad. But what do we do with the Bulls here? So I think the reasonable thing to do in mass entry is to stagger exposure to the Bulls. So what we'll do is we'll put Vucevic on, DeRozan on, and Levine on. All right, we're good, Hollywood. If you out there, we're good. And let's take off Lonzo and Caruso. And let's get a couple of numbers. So the most important number is going to be the per minute fantasy point production, because that's what we care about. Vucevic is at 1.37 DraftKings points per minute, 135 on Fanduel. DeRozan's a $1.02, and then 1.14 for Levine here. So they're all in play, but I guess based on these numbers, in the podium, I'd probably want a little bit more Vooch, and then DeRozan, and then Levine. And based on these prices, Vucevic at 9.3 on DraftKings, DeRozan 9.1, Levine at 8.8. I think they're all pretty appropriately priced, so I'd be kind of hoping that one guy really spikes, and that typically would probably come from this at the expense of another ceiling here. So at these prices, I probably just want one guy here in this pace in this matchup. So I put them all in a player pool on Fantasy Cruncher and probably say at most one of these three in a lineup. I think that's fair. Ayo Dosunmu's in play. I got him for about 30 fantasy points, 5,500 on FanDuel, 57 on DraftKings. Perhaps a price point pivot to maybe a more trendy Spencer Dinwiddie at a little bit more on both sites. Not really pushing for that for any particular reason, but should be plenty of minutes to go his way. Do you guys have a ranking on Magic here? I have Cole Anthony as the highest scoring Magic, but I don't have any Magic players exceeding 40 in my model. 40 higher end median outcome here, but that's not necessarily a bad thing at these prices, right? Everyone's under 7K on DK, so they just kind of, if they land, they land, and we get there. Who's most likely to spike for a ceiling game here? I guess we can go look at the recent game of the Magic at the Bulls here. So let's go pull up StatMuse here, and let's go Wendell Carter, DKP by game log versus Bulls. Let's go last 5 games. Give me Ayo. You like Ayo? All right, bet. The game from a couple weeks ago, I think, is a good point of reference. So player stats from a couple weeks ago. Dosunmu played 40 minutes in that game. Kobe White 35. So looks like that was a game without Levine. So it's not 1-to-1 on the Bulls side, but on the Magic side, it's very similar to what we're expecting today. It's the same starting 5, where Franz Wagner played 38 minutes, Suggs 33, Cole Anthony 31, and Wendell Carter played 28, with Bamba only playing 7 minutes. Did he get hurt that game? Maybe that's maybe we're being a little bit deceived on our expectations on Carter. But Josh made an incredible case for Wendell Carter's potential today because of his pick and roll usage versus the pick and roll defense or lack thereof of Vucevic. So it's a good spot for Wendell Carter, and the fact that it's back in Chicago. Yeah, you can juice up the emotions, the narrative all you want. So I'm fine with Wendell Carter being one of my higher owned forwards at 6,200. It's just feeling with my ear to the ground that a lot of people are in that same boat. Levine, AK on FanDuel. I still think that leaves some meat on the bone. It's a little too cheap. If I'm getting 40 plus fantasy points as an implied expectation, I think he should be closer to 9K like his DraftKings counterpart, and same with DeRozan and Vooch. So I'm most interested in Vooch per minute here. And that's what the history shows, that Vooch per minute has been most productive from a fantasy point per minute standpoint. So I'm going to put a podium of Vooch 1, then DeRozan, then Levine. And that's all I got to say about that. Vooch against Orlando a couple weeks ago, 33 in 30 minutes with 6 fouls in those 30 minutes. So he was playing with some handcuffs. Bamba, constant foul trouble versus Bulls. I'm with it. Do we lock in Murray stats? DeJounte Murray? I would say lock is a strong word because there's an outcome that the Spurs smoke the G League Warriors. There's an outcome where the G League Warriors are too dumb to know that they're supposed to get beat. I would say maybe if you like DeJounte Murray game stats, look at DeJounte Murray first half stats and see if you would rather consolidate your risk to the first half where he's less likely to not play normal minutes. You know what I mean? But for DFS, I think he's a great talking point to get through our feelings. Bamba, constant foul trouble versus Bulls. Yeah, I can see that. A lot of high usage guys, especially guys that do a lot of scoring in the paint. Vooch, DeRozan, guys like that. So Bamba definitely could struggle in that department. Nuggets at the T-Wolves. Next game on the docket. Project starting 5 for the Nuggets. Monte Morris, Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green, and Nikola Jokic taking on Patrick Beverley, Malik Beasley, crossing over with Anthony Edwards, Jared Vanderbilt, and Karl Anthony Towns. The Big Cat, Ernie Ladd. 230s are total 4-point spread in favor of the home team. Minnesota Timberwolves. So T-Wolves favored without D-Russ. Against a team that has Jokic questionable. So I'm not going to say anything other than that. But how do you feel? How do you feel? What does that mean? What does it all mean, Basil? Looking at the Denver Nuggets injury report here. By the way, we knew Jokic was questionable yesterday, so it's not like a midday cue or nothing like that. So I wouldn't overreact, but he's dealing with right toe soreness. It's being listed as questionable. Tuesday's game will be the first of a back-to-back, so there's a chance Denver will give Jokic the night off, which would result in more opportunity for guys like Jeff Green, Zeke Naji, JaMychal Green, with Aaron Gordon and Will Barton doing the heavy lifting. And then DeMarcus Cousins, right foot sprain is questionable as well. So two of their highest usage guys with fantasy relevancy from the department of redundancy department would be potentially out here. So that's interesting. That's probably the biggest news that we're waiting on right now. I think we're expecting Harden to be probable or play. I think he was listed as probable. So Jokic is basically what's the slate. That's the pistol to start the race, right? The Jokic news. So if we get Jokic confirmed in or out, then we can go from there. If Jokic is in and you give him your usual minute projection, Jokic would lead the slate in projected fantasy points for me. And it would be by a considerable margin. Right now, I got him 6 points better than Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is a home double-digit point favorite, right? Whereas Jokic being a road guy with his usage and a 230 total in a game where he's actually playing from behind, game script wise, would just extrapolate that much more usage and upside from him. So we definitely want that Jokic news. And then, if he's out, we get an entire Nuggets team that is under 6K and a lot of opportunity, a lot of next man up situation like we had yesterday, right? So something to keep an eye on, but definitely the news of the slate. If Jokic can't go, I guess we should be prepared, have some numbers and some metrics ready. So let's go pull up Denver and let's just take Jokic off the court. And what do you say we just put Aaron Gordon and Will Barton on the court, right? We won't really mess around too much. I guess we should take off MPJ just to get rid of any type of nonsense. But Will Barton on, Aaron Gordon on, and Michael Porter Jr. That's it for the Star Blast bang. 178 minutes of sample size this year. 20% usage rate on Gordon, 26% on Will Barton. Looks like Will Barton's the only guy that's actually going to see the court today that has over a fantasy point per minute. In this small sample size, Aaron Gordon's knocking on the door. He does get to a 1 on Fanduel. So those are the two logical guys that we'd probably target here. The T-Wolves side, being without D'Angelo Russell, that's pretty significant as well. And that would be a source of, from here, a little bit more definitive value, a little bit more definitive expectations. And Beverly expected to be in. So let's put the big two and Beverly on the court, right? That's Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and Patrick Beverly. And we take D-Russ off. What do we expect from the T-Wolves with this split? Well, we get a 29% usage rate on Anthony Edwards, 1.21 DraftKings points per minute, and then Karl-Anthony Towns right behind him with a 25% usage rate. Cat would definitely likely benefit from I don't know. Jokic is not really some defensive bully. Either way, I think Cat's fine. I like the uptick in usage without D-Russ point blank. 10K on FanDuel, 9,800 on DK would be easier to get to in that center spot. I got him right about 50 fantasy points on both sides. So in the context of the slate, that would be fourth behind Harden, Giannis, and Jokic. And then if Jokic got out, everyone moves up 90 feet, and he would be third. So top three and lead his position in fantasy point projection. Yeah, I'd get behind some Cat here. Edwards is intriguing because Aaron Gordon, a little bit notorious for his ability to guard forwards and guards. But Edwards is notorious for just being a ridiculous animal that can do whatever he wants when he gets the ball. So it might be a unstoppable force, immovable object situation. He is priced pretty appropriately, 8,600 on FanDuel, 8,500 on DraftKings. Looking for the north side of 40 fantasy points, but that's really what the projection's giving me. So you're projected to be an okay play. You're an okay play, be in my player pool, and okay, let's okay. Beverly under 5K on DraftKings, 5,600 on FanDuel. Without D'Angelo Russell, what's his assist rate? His assist rate is 28%, and just under a fantasy point per minute. So that's going to give me back a 25-ish minute projection. Did I take out D'Angelo Russell officially? Let's see, D'Angelo Russell. I did. So do we expect him to play more than this low minute projection that I have for him right now? Says Beverly went to shoot around ahead of Tuesday's contest against the Nuggets, blah, 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 blah. Bringmethenews.com. What a site. All right, in the last couple games for Beverly, 30 minutes on the 18th. So he's missed a little bit of time, 25, 30. You guys think he plays closer to 30 or closer to 20? Maybe 25, 26, a good compromise. But 30 seems like if he's kept his cardio up. What was his injury? Ankle? Yeah, maybe he didn't keep his cardio up. I don't know. I guess they have Jalen Noel. In theory, I like Beverly. Can we get some PrizePicks action? Maybe we don't ever need to get Beverly in DFS, but does he have a low assist prop, perhaps? 1.5 blocks and steals, 4.5 assists with a 30% assist rate. Do we have any sample size? Let's see. Patrick Beverly, DKP by game log without D'Angelo Russell. Let's go last 5 games. Ant-Man season. Let's go. Last couple games without Beverly. 12 assists, 6 assists, 6 assists, 7 assists, 7 assists. 21 to 31 minutes. That's kind of the window that I'm struggling with right now. No matter what, based on that, he has cleared that 4.5 assist prop on PrizePicks. 1.5 blocks and steals also always a fun number. He's averaging almost 2 blocks and steals a game. That's just a fun number for Patrick Beverly, no matter what. But yeah, maybe there's some action on Beverly's assist prop and blocks and steals prop. If you want to take advantage of no D-Russ, but you're really not sure if he's going to be needed for DFS. DFS, I'm getting an okay projection for his price. I don't know if he's going to pull out the big ceiling here. I don't know. Let's do this same search, but let's do it for Anthony Edwards. 25, 61, 41, 32, 33. 61 came against Phoenix, 37 minutes. So, and then while we're here, let's do it without Carl Anthony Towns. The Big Cat, Ernie Ladd, 69, 41, 41. Oh, okay. What up, King Conte? Which ceiling do you think is higher, Anthony Edwards or Siakam? Probably Anthony Edwards. Siakam against a healthy Heat, right? It's the Heat, right? Unless they go to triple overtime again, the Heat on paper limit points in the paint and are a good defense with Jimmy Butler. I would say if PJ Tucker played, we know Butler's probable. So if you get a wing front court of Butler, Tucker, Adebayo versus Edwards freely and a 230 total without D-Russ, it seems like the numbers would push me towards Edwards, although Siakam is liable to play 42 minutes, right? Just built some lineups on Fanduel. It's looking juicy. Let's go, Mark. Seawiz, Morris, and Barton have really good matchups today. Monte Morris. I usually don't get to Monte Morris unless Will Barton's out. And is the matchup that juicy against Patrick Beverley? Are we talking about Monte Morris? It's not no other Morris, right? Minnesota's been leaky to the guards. If the Joker sits, I'm probably going to be overweight. Leaky, eh? Let's see. I don't know. I tend to regard Beverly as a scrappy defender. Minnesota on the season has actually been top 10. Maybe we're thinking about how they've been in the absence of Patrick Beverley. Maybe there's regression on this number, but on the season, I'm getting them as a not super plus matchup. Will Barton, I'm just willing to bet on usage to go his way. And Minnesota has been a top 10 matchup for shooting guards, and also a good matchup for centers, right? So, I'll try and look more into that. I think that's a interesting. But I don't think I play Monte Morris unless Will Barton's out. I don't know. I just feel like Will Barton does more of the hogging. Would you play Franz Wagner or Tyler Hero on FanDuel? Probably Wagner. Hero with Butler in and the Heat being mostly healthy just without Lowry, right? That's what I got. Probably Wagner. But man, Tyler Hero, it feels like he's due, right? Every time he gets hyped up in a good spot, he's just so average. So thank God I ain't average. Liking this chalky Warriors Peyton pull Toscano. I'm with that, Willie. You like them? You like playing them, or you like that they're chalk and you're avoiding them? These are the questions. Next game on the docket: Golden State Warriors at San Antonio Spurs. Projects 35 for the Warriors. Gary Payton the second. Jordan Poole the first. I'm assuming Damian Lee probably also the first. Jonathan Kuminga. Not the first come bucket, but yeah, Kevin Looney up against DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Dougie McBuckets, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. Am I not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club? Let's go look at the line movement on this game, because there's definitely been some movement in the last hour and a half. While I was on the PrizePicks stream, the Warriors got ruled out, and this total has now moved to -5 for San Antonio, so even more movement than when I adjusted to. So it was, I think we're talking almost 7 points already, and the total has dropped to 219 from 227. Yeah, so that's actually an 8.5 point spread. It opened at 3.5. Golden State favorites, 227.5 total, and when everyone got ruled out, it moved to -5 San Antonio, which represents 8.5 points, and the total dropped from 227 to 219. I think it could still go down further, so something to keep an eye on. And I guess this is where we start asking ourselves, does the game stay competitive? Do the hungry backups of the Warriors come out, have something to prove? Gary Payton, a scrappy guy. Jordan Poole can score buckets. He has started in this league. Damian Lee also, sneaky bucket. I got a lot of really solid fantasy point projections from my first run. Now, I didn't have a whole lot of time to tighten the screws on these guys, so I'll have to recomb through it and kind of think about what this rotation is. But there's a lot of people out: Bielisa, Curry, Draymond, Iggy, Otto, Clay, Wiggins. I mean, the rotation has to be pretty super tight. So even Steve Kerr can't screw us here, right? Usually when the Warriors are without Curry and starters, we got to guess between Bielisa, Otto, Juan Toscano, stuff like that, right? But we don't have that here. We have Kuminga as really the only wing or big wing forward, and then Juan Toscano Anderson as well. So I think we should feel okay about it. The San Antonio Spurs defensively certainly have Areas of opportunity for improvement, as they say in the corporate world, a bottom 10 defensive rating, 110.8 points per 100 possessions, and a neutral rating, 0.2. So maybe they don't smoke teams here, but it's really a lot of unknowns here with the Warriors because we can't really go off of any season metrics. So what do we do? So I guess we can see if there's any bit of sample size to gravitate towards on the Golden State side. I would assume that the offense most likely would run through a guy like Jordan Poole. You know, he has started for this team in the past. Probably their best, overall player that's active in this lineup. So I would expect him to maybe lead the team in shot attempts. You can make a case for Damian Lee as well. But I don't know. Let's just start taking people off. Let's take off Curry, Clay, Wiggins. Maybe I don't take off like the tertiary guys, but Curry, Clay, Wiggins, Draymond. These guys are all pretty important to what they're doing. I guess Otto Porter as well. Oh, I spelled auto backwards. My bad. Fudge. 62 minutes of just on this alone. 31% usage rate for Jordan Poole. 1.2 fantasy point per minute. So kind of as expected. Bealey's is in there as well, but he's not playing. So I guess Jordan Poole is like where the numbers take us. Just usage going his way under 6K. Cool. Kuminga burnt me yesterday, man. I thought that against the Rockets, there was no way he wasn't going to get minutes. He ended up not starting. They moved Wiggins down to the 4, and Moses Moody got inserted into the lineup, and he played 11 minutes and got in instant foul trouble. So that hurt, that hurt. Not so much here, but like right here in the cardiovascular area. You know what I mean? The core zone. But I'm going to go back to the well here. Should be a 20 to 30 minute opportunity against this Spurs front court. And really just everyone on the Warriors are in play, and we just kind of have to rank them. So I guess a lot of our comfort is going to come in what the starting lineup is, and we probably expect those guys to be the constants. However, I would caution everyone to remember it wasn't that long ago that the Warriors punted a game against the Pelicans, and Gary Payton was in the starting lineup but did not play starter minutes. So Gary Payton, DKP by game log versus, let's put Pelicans, because I remember that game specifically because it effed me up. I'll say that. New Orleans, why does it say NOK? New Orleans, Oklahoma City Hornets. That's okay. That's old Gary Payton. All right. Okay, Stat Muse. Relax with the technicalities. Freaking A, bro. What are we doing? Anyway, Golden State. Gary Payton started that game. So Wiggins was in that game as well. Otto was as well. And Gary Payton started and played 14 minutes. So I think we should expect him to be fine here. So let's just play all the Warriors. Let's just do it, right? No one else is going to do this, right? This is just us. Don't tell nobody. We're playing Warriors. Too much value. How many Warriors is too many Warriors in a lineup? Could we get to 4 and think it's not the dumbest thing in the world? Maybe. I think 3 feels like the most comfortable. But if we got to 4, we got to 4. I think we just unleash it. Let's do it. All right, DeJounte Murray on the other side here. So it's reasonable to be suspicious and pessimistic on this game staying competitive for long. But it's only a 5-point spread. If this game stays within single digits, man, I guess we just got to let Vegas do the thinking for us. And if it does stay close, DeJounte Murray has every right to be one of the highest fantasy scorers on this slate. So I'm going to get to some of him. Derek White, 6K on both sides. I'm looking for 30-plus fantasy points. That's what the early projections bringing back on him. And then Yahoo Poeltl, really expensive now. 8,600 on Fanduel, 7,200 on DraftKings. I think that price is going to get me out of there. But if you guys want to take some shots here, I think his per-minute production is fine. I just think that front court's deep enough that if this game does get lopsided, he's most likely to be 30 minutes or less, and Eubanks and Jock Landale and stuff like that get in the mix. I think Josh said it was Drew Eubanks' birthday, so maybe Pop looks out for him, right? Devin Vassell and Lonnie Walker aren't like super cheap, right? They're not like must-have values, even if we thought that this game could be 2.5 quarters. 5K on Lonnie Walker, almost 5K on Vassell on FanDuel. So I'd just be sticking with the the Warriors value here. Yeah, no. Let's get caught up on the chat before we matriculate on to the next one. Damien says, I never play Looney, but with all the Warriors sitting, I think I am. You think so? I don't know. I don't feel like I'm getting a fantastic deal here, but I'm getting a good projection on him. So there's no Warrior I'm going to tell you not to play. There's not. Mark K says, I'm super happy to play Warriors tonight. The process is fine. 220 total. We're still giving the Warriors over 100 real points, and this whole team is so cheap. Moody started yesterday. Kerr wants to expand his role. He will take a lot of threes tonight. I could get behind that. But it also, like, we still got to replace some bodies. So Moody, and like, so yesterday I expected Kuminga, or thought Kuminga could start, but Moody could, I would say Moody probably starts again, but Kuminga could also start. Like, if Moody over maybe Damian Lee at the 3 is what I got jotted down right now. I think that, ain't no telling what this lineup could be. Gary Payton could not start, and Jordan Poole just starts as, the point guard, or Chris Chiozza or something like that, right? Lots of ways to go. That's why I said I want to see the starting lineup, and I would let that kind of lead me towards who I would maybe expect to play the most minutes. But it is what it is. What a dang lazy mofo. Moody, Lamont, Paul, now the pay-up guard on Fanduel with Curry out. James Harden is probably still on the slate in a 230 total. I think he's fine. Checking. All right. He's $28 on Yahoo. Who's that? Chris Paul? Drinking out of an empty can. Let me double check if you meant Chris Paul. Control F. Chris Paul. By the way, we do have Yahoo projections in the spreadsheet. I know I don't bring them up in conversation a lot. He has $40. Who's $28 on Yahoo? DeJounte? I don't know. DeJounte is $47. I don't know who we're talking about. You got to smarten me up. Anything I missed? Kuminga gets a boost with Wiggins out. You would think minutes would be there for Kuminga, yes. You would think the minutes for the Warriors. I don't know exactly how many bodies they'll have active, but it looks like this could be an 8 or 9 man rotation. And in which case we would be able to plant a lot of 30s minute projections on a few guys. And one of those guys for me is Kuminga. My aching knee is telling me Joker's going to sit. Get that feeling in your bad knee with the storm coming in. Joker's sitting. All right, I can get behind. All right, what? We only got one game left. What? Did I miss a game? The Raptors? Did I skip the Raptors game? I think I skipped the Raptors game, y'all. Should probably fix that. Yeah, let's go back. How did you guys let me do that? Someone's getting fired. Raptors hosting the Miami Heat. Let's talk about this game. Project starting 5 for the Heat. Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy G, Buckets, PJ Tucker, Bam Adebayo, taking on Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam. Jimmy Butler was upgraded to probable, right? So I think what we had was Butler probable. Oh, hey, shout out to Fan. Peyton, Poole, Moody, JTA, Looney, Chiozza, Lee, Weatherspoon, and Kuminga. So that's a 9-man rotation. That's about what we got listed. I don't know if Weatherspoon gets like significant minutes, so it could be 8.5 man. But for the Heat news, we had PJ Tucker questionable, Lowry ruled out, Jimmy Butler available to play. So yesterday Butler sat first leg of a back-to-back. So if Butler's gonna be back in the mix here, he's got 50 plus fantasy point potential. This is a rematch of that triple overtime game from the other night. But this one, they don't. So I read that they could have fans in February. Does that start today? Somebody out there, my Canadian cohorts. Not that it matters, but I always think that the atmosphere is certainly palpable, difference wise, whether you prefer fans or not. If there's nobody in the stands. Anyway, yesterday we saw an uptick in usage on paper for guys like Adebayo and Tyler Hero. With Butler back in the mix, he should lead the team just about everything usage-wise. And then on the Raptors side, just Dragic, Kem Burt's listed as out here. So if they're fully healthy, they've been pretty tight with their rotation. A lot of 37-plus minute projections for me on all the starters. I think there are fun talking points here. At the end of the PrizePicks stream, me and Josh kind of talked about Gary Trent here. I know Gary Trent was a topic of conversation on yesterday's stream. I did mention how 2 of his last 3 games came without Fred VanVleet. There was a triple overtime game in there. And then yesterday he played 41 minutes. He took 22 shot attempts, 15 from behind the arc against the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks without Trae Young. Still a low-scoring game, but this is 30-plus real points in 4-plus games. There's all kinds of asterisks behind it. However, the shot volume should still be pretty high, and more so in this game than not, right? And here's why. The Miami Heat, when they're healthy, Butler, Tucker, Adebayo, they if we pull up points in the paint allowed, they allow the fewest points in the paint in all of basketball. Kind of like the Milwaukee Bucks, where they funnel your most successful scoring to behind the perimeter. They give up the third most points per game via the 3-ball. So maybe a little less in Siakam and Scotty Barnes' hands and a little bit more from your shooters like Gary Trent Jr., who's just 5,800 on DraftKings. And even if you thought, hey, regression's on the way and he's not going to crush it, Van Vliet is not going to, defer to him this much, or he's not going to score 30 points a game, he's still likely going to take 10-plus threes. And PrizePicks had him listed at 3.5 threes. And that's just the number that he is smoking right now. And this matchup suggests that you're more likely to score via the 3-ball than not here. So a couple of spots to like Gary Trent today, and that would be DraftKings pricing and maybe some exposure on PrizePicks. 7,200 on Fanduel. You did your thing, dog, but that's going to be a no for me, more than likely. And then generally speaking, the Raptors are all pretty attackable. And speaking of PrizePicks with Gary Trent, positive correlation here. If you want to take some action on Gary Trent's over 3.5 threes, who's dishing him the rock? How about some Fred VanVleet? Right now, Fred VanVleet is the focal point of the Taco Tuesday special. 21% off his initial projection of 7 assists. Get him down to 5.5. That's well below the season average. And we talked about how many minutes they're playing. So you can sweat that knowing that he's got a ton of minutes coming and going. So lots of fun to be had with the Raptors on the PrizePicks side. Let's run. I'm curious here. Let's run Siakam versus DKP by game log versus Adebayo. Bam Adebayo. Last 10 games. Because somebody had asked me about Siakam earlier. Bless you. Siakam 62 fantasy points, 57 minutes, 57 minutes, whatever. 54 fantasy points and 42 minutes. However, it didn't come from scoring. He had 18 real points that game, 10 assists, 6 boards. I think somebody was out, and he had 5 steals and a block. And in that last game, he had 8 stocks. So whenever he is breaking a ceiling worth having at this price point, it has been heavily, heavily correlated with big defensive numbers and sometimes big assist numbers. And I think if we look at this 54, I'm not gonna, the 57 minutes is whatever. I'm not gonna care about that game. Let's go look at this 42 minutes against Miami on January 17th. What was the starting lineup for either team here? So for Toronto, VanVleet, Siakam, Barnes, Achua, Anunoby. He just played 42 minutes and 10 assists. It's a lot of assists. Took 20 shot attempts, hit less than 50%. I don't know. I'm a little skittish here, but I guess he does stretch the court a little bit more. But at 9K, I don't think man, that's a lot of. And the Heat aren't generally like a big turnover or block surrenderer team, right? I think they're pretty low. So I guess Siakam's just a beast in those departments. Anyway. Bigger super chat breaks on my retirement party week. The super chat ain't working. Oh no. You trying to tell me Fish fans just gonna be swanging? Let me get caught up on chat while we're doing here. Yo, what up, Ronald Jones? Sorry to hear about your quarterback retiring. You'll be all right though. Dust yourself off. Blake Bortles, he's out there. Canada sucks. I'm not vaxxed, so I can't go to a game or do anything. Oof. You think PrizePicks props are low? We'll take a look at them. By the way, if you guys have any PrizePicks questions or anything like that, it's not just a DFS show. 24.5 PRA for Pirtle. He smoked that. That's not first half, right? What do I got Pirtle PRA at? Let's go to the player props tab. Control F. Pirtle. I have Pirtle at 26 PRA. So I guess, yes, I think they're low. I am concerned about lopsided scoreboard and depth at the position, but yes, to answer your question, yes. Also, they have him at 35 fantasy points. I have him at 38. So they're lower than I am in every category, but it's not like I'm running to get action on that. But they are lower than me, yes. Download a fake VAC card, fill it out, and print it. Well, I just think that, they had their arena shut down anyway. Trent is a scorer, man. That was a trade for Powell. Turned out nice. Powell is, yeah, I like Gary Trent. I don't think 30 points a game is the expectation, but I don't think that he can't score 20 plus and be a great play at this price anyway. So I don't want it to spin. I don't want to spin his recent success as me being off of him, but like I said, 2 games without Van Vliet, triple overtime. Yesterday, he just went off against the Hawks. So I'm going to have him on DraftKings for sure, and I'm going to have a little stake in him on PrizePicks. The 7K price point on Fanduel, I'm a little less than excited for that, right? $22 on Yahoo, looking good. Oh, for Trent, okay. Butler worth the price. So Butler, yeah, that last slate, Butler against the Raptors. It was that 15-minute game where he dropped 80 fantasy points. Obviously, we're not banking on overtime or anything like that, but Butler's live to score 50, 60 fantasy points in regulation. This season, he's averaging 66 fantasy points. So I guess if we do the math, 80, 60. So the other game was probably closer to 40 fantasy points. And 40 probably ain't getting the job done at 9,200. The other game in this log, Toronto. But yes, I do. Yeah, 50. Oh, he had a 51 in there as well. I just think without Lowry, we're expecting pretty big usage, pretty big per minute production from Butler, and he's the freshest legs on the court because the rest of the team played last night. So lots going his way. I would have some, but I liked him better in the 8Ks. But I'm only getting 40-ish fantasy points as his projection. Really, no one individually is just going nuts for me in terms of a fantasy point projection. And kind of the same on the Raptors, right? No one's breaking 50, but I'm willing to take some shots at their minutes, and I'm kind of game scripting my way into the back court over the front court here. But if PJ Tucker's out, it might change a little bit for that front court defense. Best prize pick other than the Raptors, like just ever in general. I liked Spencer Dinwiddie over 15.5 real points. He scored 17 or more in every game without Beal so far, and it's a game where they're implied to score like 110. Hero bounce back game. Maybe, but I think what is he bouncing back from, we were on him yesterday because Jimmy Butler was out. It would say we. People were on him yesterday because Jimmy Butler was out. I think 15 to 20 shot attempts is realistic expectation game to game anyway. I think he's priced for it. I don't think he's going to do much else especially in probably the assist category. But when Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler are in the mix here, I don't have high expectations for Hero. So I feel like the bounce back is more so centered around the fact that he should have been better yesterday without Jimmy Butler and wasn't. So we only have one game left on the docket. We'll take a pause for the cause. Let you guys know that after the stream, I'll be in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP Discord. I'll be in the voice chat looking a little something like this, right? You open this up. You open this sucker. First of all, you go to VIP memberships. You click something that's right for you. Then once you do, you click VIP portal, and then that'll have links to spreadsheets in the Discord. If you just get in the Discord, everything you need is in the Discord. We'll have spreadsheet channels, stuff like that. And then in the Discord, there's this NBA chat with the microphone or the speaker thing. You click on that for lock. You chill out with us. If you don't want to talk, mute your mic, listen in. You can type in chat, whatever, warm up. But we'll be there counting down to lock, digesting news, having some fun, kicking back, making fun of Raj, all that good stuff. And then, of course, there are only 5 coupons for this year pass, and I talked about at the top of the stream. And you see it in the tag, the pinned message in chat. So this can only be used 5 times. So the first 5 of y'all that get it. It's promo code VDAY, like Valentine's Day, VDAY, and it's only for the year pass. That'll knock off $40. That'll get it to a $4.99 for the rest of the year, and that also includes a $150 credit towards Fantasy Cruncher. So essentially, you could get a year pass for like $350, which is just ridiculous when you consider it. But whatever you get, everything comes with a incremental credit towards Fantasy Cruncher to help you optimize your lineups, manage your mass entry, stuff like that. If you have Fantasy Cruncher specific questions like processually how you set up a player pool, stuff like that, hit me up in the Discord and I'll walk it through with you. Main event tonight, Brooklyn Nets at the Phoenix Suns. Project starting five for the Nets: James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Patty Mills, Kessler Edwards, and Nick Claxton taking on Chris Paul, Devin Booker, McCall Bridges, Jay Crowder, and DeAndre Ayton. We got a 230 total, 5.5 point spread for the home team, Phoenix Suns. Brooklyn Nets will be without Kevin Durant and LaMarcus Aldridge. Aldridge, I thought, was not insignificant news because he had been somebody that the Nets had leaned on really a lot to close games out as, you know, an extra scorer with some veteran presence, you know. And then they got they got Nick Claxton back in the mix here. So not quite 2 steps forward, 2 steps backwards, but one less guy to stretch the court a little bit for the Nets. So we would expect a lot of the scoring to come from Harden, Kyrie, and Patty Mills to an extent. And then on the Suns side, DeAndre Ayton isn't officially out. Seems like we might expect him to miss another game or two as they go forward. But it's a good sign that he isn't starting the day off with an out tag. Same with Jay Crowder. DeAndre Ayton ankle, Jay Crowder wrist have both been upgraded to questionable for Tuesday's matchup with the Nets. Ayton and Crowder were both listed as out earlier today, and this is from a report from earlier today, I guess. All right. If they return, Bismack Biyombo, Cameron Johnson would both likely return to the bench. Biyombo and Johnson have been good, blah, 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 blah. That's season-long base stuff. So if they can go, it changes stuff a little bit, not a whole lot. It also obviously in that last game, Biyombo started in lieu of JaVale McGee. It would probably neutralize the viability of Biyombo for fantasy at his between 5 and 6K price point. Same for JaVale McGee. And then you would wonder how many minutes Ayton would play. Same with Jay Crowder. So we'll be waiting for that news. Maybe we don't even have that news by lock. And then if you wanted some Ayton, you'd get into some late swap, or if you wanted to get some Biyombo, you'd have to work with that. But what we do know is that Cameron Payne is still out and Landry Shamet is out. And I don't think that's insignificant. While it might sound like who cares about that gun, Chris Paul has been playing a lot of minutes lately. I mean, a lot of minutes. 40, 37, 37, 40, 41 minutes. A lot of these minutes instantly correlate from when Cameron Payne went down. They didn't just say, hey, Elfrid Payton, you take over 20 minutes. Chris Paul has just been playing extra, right? So almost 40 minutes of Chris Paul, 37 plus in many of these games since then. And then Landry Shamet going down, just kind of heightens guard minute floors for these starters anyway. Shamet, 17 minutes in that recent game against San Antonio, 21-12. So their guard rotation gets pretty thin. I think it would be like Elfrid Payton and I guess somebody, MJ Walker. So yeah, we might just have a really high minute floor for Chris Paul. So we put him on the cover, and we got him looking like a pretty good pick today. And then to keep Chris Paul in mind, later today, I believe PrizePicks, it's Chris Paul and Fred VanVleet, right? If we go to Taco Bar voting, Chris Paul is going to have a discount on his assist later today. So if it's the same like 20% discount or whatever, they might list him at like 9 assists, and that's just been something he's smoking, right? He's averaging 10 on the season, and you give him that many more minutes, Chris Paul could have 15 plus assists, right? Last couple games for him, 19, 14, 5. We don't talk about the 5, but the 13, 16. So I would be pretty confident in those Chris Paul numbers, assuming that Chris Paul plays 40 minutes, doesn't get injured. My heart stopped. I had to get it back going. That was weird. Devin Booker, 9K, 9,500. So the Florida ceilings on these guys, you feel like would fluctuate a little bit based on the viability of DeAndre Ayton. But we'll stamp some official numbers on it. I know Devin Booker leads the trio in usage anyway, so I'm not too concerned, especially against a backcourt like Harden and Kyrie. It's going to be a pretty beneficial matchup for Devin Booker to score a lot of points. So let's put Booker on the court. Let's put Chris Paul on the court, and let's just look at 2 comparisons here. One would be with Ayton off the court, and then we'll run it back to Ayton on the court. Chris Paul, 18%. Nope, that can't be right. It is right. 18% usage rate, 32% usage rate on Devin Booker. Paul with a 40% assist rate, and Devin Booker 18%. So big assist numbers there for Chris Paul to further justify the impending Taco Tuesday prop. Over 1.2 fantasy points per minute for both of them. And then we put Ayton into the mix here. And Ayton, just another guy for Chris Paul to get some assists from. What up, YouTube Hip? Chris Paul, 18% usage rate, 40% assist rate. Ayton comes in the mix with a 20+% usage rate. And Devin Booker stays at 29. So Devin Booker still leads the trio in usage. And then all of their point per minute production goes to 1.1 plus. So they become quasi stackable. But I would assume that Ayton maybe doesn't unload for his full allotment of minutes in game one. We'll see. Also, like, I feel like he's still closer to out. I think missing a decent stretch of time, and when you start getting on your way back, it feels like you hit a couple cues before you actually play. So I'm kind of bracing myself for another Biyombo game. And if you get Biyombo a shot at 25-30 minutes against the Nets front court, I'm definitely a buyer in that. 22 minutes against San Antonio. That was a game where JaVale McGee was active again as well. So if they're all healthy, I would probably be off of McGee and Biyombo altogether. But Biyombo looks interesting if he draws a start here against the Nets with Ayton potentially out. And then what do I want to do? I want to look at the Nets defensive rating. Brooklyn Nets defensive rating without Kevin Durant this season. So I don't think this stat does what I want it to do, but in 13 games played without Kevin Durant, the Brooklyn Nets have a defensive efficiency of 117.2, which if you look at the league, that would be the worst defense in all of basketball. That would be worse than Houston. There's not a whole lot of resistance in Harden, Kyrie, Patty Mills, you know what I mean? So the Suns should score at will here, just 5.5 point favorites. With that stat in mind, is kind of intriguing. Yo, Brad, appreciate that sub, man. Welcome to the channel. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. I think the Suns should be able to score at will. I also have big minutes on McCall Bridges, but I think this will all normalize once I get Jay Crowder and Ayton news. If Jay Crowder misses this game as well with Ayton, I think Cameron Johnson is somebody I can get back to pretty confidently. And then, like I said, I get behind Biyombo a little bit more. As far as guards picking up some minutes here, while we got time, we got plenty of time, right? So I do want to go look at that game against the Spurs and see what we might expect from Ish Wainwright minute-wise. So Ish Wainwright did get some first quarter run. He closed out the game in lieu. It looks like they went full on small ball against San Antonio. They didn't have a center on the court. Shamet, Wainwright, Paul, Devin Booker, Bridges, and Cameron Johnson. So looks like they closed out small, and the Spurs closed out with Jesus. This is all over the place. Keldon Johnson. So maybe that's why Biyombo's minutes were a little less than what you might expect. So, and that's not impossible for the Nets to do, right? Nets, Claxton, and maybe Darren Sharp. Yeah, I'd probably still want Biyombo out there. All right, so yeah, I think the minutes are just gonna be super deep on Paul and Booker without Shamet and Cameron Payne. So I'm not really too worried about Ayton. Harden and Kyrie, let's talk about these two, and then I guess we can work on getting out of here if you guys got some questions. Harden, I got him as a 56 fantasy point projection right now. That would be good for third best. He's right up there with Kat, Giannis, Jokic. If Jokic ends up not being on the slate, Harden definitely, with standard deviation in mind, has a range of outcome to be the top scoring player on the slate. You think about this total, 230 total. You know, if they're going to score 112, 113 points, Harden's going to have a hand in all of it. So let's pull up the Nets here. I did this query on the PrizePicks show, but Harden does lead the team in assist percentage when he shares the court with Kyrie. So I thought one of the more positive correlated props to bet would be Harden assist prop versus Kyrie scoring prop. But this season we'll take off KD, we'll take off LaMarcus Aldridge. And the numbers we get officially for this season is a 27% usage rate on Harden, 35.6% assist rate, a 27% usage rate on Kyrie with a 22% assist rate. And if we elongate on that to last season, give us a little bit of extra sample size. This might throw on guys like Joe Harris and, guys that really don't matter for the sake of what we're trying to accomplish here. Harden assist rate stays at 35%, still around 27% usage rate. Kyrie's usage spikes to 30, but it's still below Harden in the assist department. So the general line of thinking is that Harden correlates better with Kyrie as the guy feeding him with assists. And on PrizePicks, if we look at the Nets, Harden's assist prop was 9, and 9 is actually below his season average as is, right? He's averaging 10 a game right now on the season, so looks pretty good. And then Kyrie Irving scoring without Kevin Durant. I could, and considering this total 25 real points is probably a good starting point as the expectation.
Let's go home. Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go home. Let's go home. Let's go home.
Pre-retirement gawk hawk? No? How about 777 quadrillion 777 trillion 777 billion 777 million $777,777? No? Fine. Here is $5.
Yo, it shut her off. Yo, she said, I'm not reading this. Yo, that was too long. Here's $5 for the puppy fund. All right, bet. Kyrie's point prop is at 26.5. Appreciate that $5 dono, Damron. He has cleared 26 points in a couple games straight here. Now, 2 games without Harden, we had to do a lot more. A couple games with Harden, without KD. So I do think 26.5 is a little bit more reasonable, but considering the pace of this game being a little bit up and the total being what it is, I think Kyrie should lead the Nets in scoring. There's a outcome where Harden leads in scoring, but I'm going to lean towards Kyrie here. And Patty Mills will probably be 3rd or 4th in scoring without Aldridge in the mix here. So I do like Harden over assists. Attach it to Kyrie over points. And then if you wait long enough, Chris Paul will have a Taco Tuesday special for his assist prop, All right, let's get caught up on chat here, and then we'll get out of here, By the way, if you guys aren't on PrizePicks, you keep hearing me talking about PrizePicks, and you want to sign up using code GUNDACKER, and they will match your first deposit up to $100. So $20 becomes $40, $40, $80, $100 becomes $200. It's no slow drip. You don't have to play through it 800 times to get 10% back, and you can only get it with crypto and blah, 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 blah. It's instant, man. They put it on your account, and whenever you sign up and use my code, it's basically you telling them, yo, Gun is my homie and you should take care of him, because they do it. It's a love fest. So it's a good way to support the stream. If you don't want to get into like VIP or anything like that, just sign up using my code and try it out. It's a lot of fun. And we're doing a lot of content for it. So hoya. Shut off the puppy. Even the bot doesn't want a puppy. Yeah, I'm Ron Burgundy. What up, Bobby? She got the hard part out the way and gave up at the finish line. Yeah, she just passed out. Somewhere there's a AI bot breathing with Matt. Was it the Born Identity? She's sitting in a pool where her they just have her alive to read donos on YouTube. I'm trying to get caught up on chat. My brain just took a weird spin. Is Butler worth the price? I think so. Mr. Baseballer says, I'm not saying I like or don't like Trent tonight. Just in general, that trade worked out. I definitely think it did, right? I think the Raptors maybe get a unfair shake because they've been so unhealthy. I also think the Raptors are playing with fire with this Nick Nurse minute rotation. I mean, we just have so much sample size in recent history. Tim Thibodeau, Bulls, you break down the human body pretty quickly after forcing guys to play 40 minutes a game. So, yeah. Is Dinwiddie a lock for you on Fanduel, says Damien? I think he's a lock to be a good play. For tournament ceiling, probably want 40 plus. I'm not missing 40 by much right now. I got him at 37 fantasy points, so 6,300. I'm not gonna do him 40. I'll take it. Thinking about the point guard spot on FanDuel, James Harden, Chris Paul. I mean, he's definitely up there for points per dollar viability, and then kind of go from there. DeJounte Murray, not a lot, but he's gonna profile extremely well. I think he's gonna be pretty well owned. Feel like Val over on rebounds on prize picks with Hard and other guys out. Yes, Aaron, I do like that. I would like his I would like J Val's fantasy points too. Especially if Brandon Ingram's out. Outlaws, appreciate the sub, man. Welcome to the channel. Valentine's Day coming up. Okay, Jenna, relax. That's not no puppies, man. No puppies. This dog or this cat acts like a dog half the time anyway. When does the taco thing come out? So there's a taco promotion right now. The Fred VanVleet thing is up there. That's gonna be up there for 26 more minutes. So if you guys want to take advantage of that, it's only up there for another half hour. And then you might have to wait like another hour or so for the Chris Paul discount to come out, but that'll be out later tonight as well. And those were the two. They had one earlier today for Nikola Mirotic. You guys remember him? Former Bulls great. He's playing in EuroLeague. So if you took advantage of that, I'm sure that was profitable or is profitable. I don't know if they're playing now. I don't know time zones. What do I do with my hands? You like DeJounte Murray over 2.5 free throws? I be honest, I don't think I've ever bet a free throw prop. 4, 7, 2, 10. I would say Kuminga and Gary Payton have a propensity and a range of outcome to not keep their hands to themselves, but we're betting on a lot. I think DeJounte. If I want some action on DeJounte, if I wanted one neutralize potential blowout, I might cut the game in half, bet his first half props. But 36.5 PRA, that's pretty nice. 20.5 real point, 46 fantasy points. I've got DeJounte at, I've got him at 50, so I'm about 4 points clearing, maybe 4 or 5 points clearing the prop there. But I personally don't bet free throw props, so I don't want to be the reason you bet free throw props because it's not something I do. I'll be looking if I get anything for Valentine's Day. Okay, buddy. Chat, last year I bought her some stuff online for Valentine's Day. It was like, I got the picture of her cat, put it on socks, right? They put it on socks. I got a locket with a picture of us in it. Like so the phone case. Oh, is this what this is?
Yeah.
I don't think it shows up well. I don't know, does it? I got a phone case that glitters with us in it. Anyway, it looked like a nice company, right? It was like a Facebook ad. I bought it. I didn't get this crap till like July last year, man. It was I got okey doked, man. But I did get the stuff, but I didn't get it in time for Valentine's Day. So hopefully this year's Valentine's stuff comes in by this month. It's also my birthday that week too. So who are your favorite $10 values on Yahoo today? Seems like there's always some misprices over there. I mean, I'm sure all the Warriors are mispriced, but let's go check out the Yahoo value chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. Kuminga is listed at $10. Yeah. Juan Toscano Anderson's listed at $10. All right, yeah. Gary Payton, $10. Yeah. So the Warriors are my favorite $10 value plays on Yahoo for sure. Jordan Poole's $17. Yeah, take that. So I mean, yes, the Warriors. That's what we're doing here. We're playing Warriors on Yahoo. And we go from there. Where we at on likes, guys? We're at 103 likes. Let's go. Appreciate that. Love free throw. You like free throw props, Hanzo? I mean, my boy Chronic was betting WNBA or women's college basketball free throw props. I was like, how do you even do that? Like, how do you research that? But I don't know. Yo, Lynx Inkwell, I missed that, man. You're welcome back. And yeah, all right. Chat, you guys got anything else? We're vibing here. Yo, it says down here 68 degrees with a winter storm. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. There's a winter storm watch, but it's 66 degrees right now. What? Anyway, does Kuminga actually get minutes? Anyone to replace him? I think he should. I think yesterday was Andrew Wiggins at the 4. They bumped up Moses Moody in the starting lineup. There's no Bielisa. Really the only backup stretch forward here, I guess, is Juan Toscano Anderson. He might double down at the center spot as well. So if Kuminga's in the starting lineup, I would probably be pretty confident. Their actives is pretty short, right? Weatherspoon is a guard as well. So yeah, if you're matching up with Keldon Johnson, Jakob guys like that, I would assume Kuminga has to get minutes here. Obviously, Steve Kerr control this, but it's a little bit different than yesterday. Got a storm coming too. Favorite center today on Yahoo. I mean, if Jokic plays, it's gonna be Jokic. If he doesn't play, that's a great question. So let's go back to that player projections chart and the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. Karl-Anthony Towns, I got him as the next guy behind Jokic in fantasy and raw points. And I think with the Warriors here, you could probably get 4 Warriors and just play all the studs. So I'm just gonna sell out for raw fantasy points. So if Cat's gonna be the next man up for me, I'm gonna play some Cat. Behind him, Vucevic is looking all right, $36. But it'd probably be Cat. Cat with no D'Angelo Russell. We know that definitively right now. But if Jokic is playing, I want Nikola Jokic. You can't give me $10 guys for, I guess over there it would be 30x value. Is that right? 30, yeah, it would be 30x value. 10, that's not 300, right? I don't know. That's Texas for you. Texas is crazy. It's going to be 67 degrees today and freezing tomorrow. Go figure. The weather's going to change for storm till tomorrow. Oh, okay. North Texas is about to get some ice snow tomorrow. Man, I heard about the snow. I did the show with Coach yesterday. He was telling me some snow might be on the way. And I don't know if that, like, I'm in Waco, right? So it's not North Texas, more central, but it's not that far. So we might catch the tail end. Weatherspoon is actually just cuddling when it's cold. You like Dinwiddie over 15.5 or Chris Paul over 41 fantasy points more? Need something to pair. I'd probably, I like them both. How much gap is? I have Chris Paul, bless you, at 49.
Hey.
I'd probably take the Dinwiddie real point, bless you again. But I like them both fine. What up, Sparks? Ricardo. I appreciate the sub. Welcome to the channel. What up, Sparks? Thoughts on Kuzma? Without Bradley Beal, looks good. He's got a couple pop games without Beal earlier this season, but those are games that also didn't have Rui Hachimura, no Thomas Bryant, maybe a couple games without Montrezl Harrell, and some of those games he was bleeding into 40+ minutes and maybe more positive matchups. I still think he's fine. I think he'll be top 1, top 2 in usage. But I don't think the price is like incredible. I'm getting a 40 fantasy point projection, so that would look good. And how's his 3-ball game lately? 8, 5, 3, 2. Okay, not crazy. 4 for 8 against Memphis. Has 1 game against Milwaukee, dropped 38. So 10 more fantasy points than minutes played. So if we give him another 6-7 minutes played here, I think he's all right. I'm not overly excited because of the situation being a little bit different, and them being double digit road dogs. I kind of expect the Bucks to put this game away. So I'm not that stoked for Kuzma, but if he projects low enough owned where I don't have to give up too much equity to take advantage of a usage bump and a faster paced matchup where he's going to be playing from behind and need to score more, then I'm getting behind it. But it's not giving me the warm and fuzzies, right? Any Thomas Bryant love? If the Thomas Bryant minutes were there, yes, I think he profiles as the exact archetype of center that should succeed against the Bucks, right? Bucks limited in points in the paint, so a lot of bigs that can shoot a 3-ball do well, and Thomas Bryant can shoot the 3. I just don't get a big minute projection on him. Maybe you guys can talk me into giving him more minutes, but he has not seen more than 22 minutes since returning this season. And I don't think with Daniel Gafford, with Montrezl Harrell, with the guys they got in their front court, Rui Hachimura is back in the mix. That I don't think I'm ready to blow up this minute projection just yet. So I like the thought of him. I like the matchup for a guy with his style of play. But I don't think he's worth risk. Definitely not on FanDuel. I don't really see myself getting there on DraftKings. Maybe on PrizePicks. If you cut the game in half, he had an intriguing first half prop I noticed earlier. Thomas Bryant, that is, at 5.5 points. So if he nails 2 threes off the rip, that would get you there. Maybe the fantasy points as well. But for DFS, I'm not really like running to play him. Mr. Crypto says, I think Kuminga isn't playing because of Steph Curry. After Brooklyn game, Kuminga asked Kyrie for his jersey right away, and Steph didn't like that. He asked Kyrie why he did that. They turned off sound. Ooh, interesting. Thoughts on my Yahoo line: Dinwiddie, Jordan Poole, Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, Kyle Kuzma, Mo Bamba, Kevin Looney. I dig it. I'd probably want one of the big centers that's very likely to get me 50, a Cat or Jokic or somebody like that. But I don't disagree with any play in general, and I don't have a full grasp of the pricing. Like, what is Bamba relative to the rest of the field, right? Would you run Bamba or Claxton at 17? I'd probably go Bamba. Ayton and Biyombo are not really matchups I want to run to with Claxton. What's the deal with Spencer Dinwiddie? What happened with his teammates? Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Apparently, the rumor is that the Wizards the players don't like Dinwiddie. That's the rumor. I don't want to be a vehicle for spreading misinformation or something that isn't true, but that's the rumor, that Dinwiddie's teammates are not vibing with him. Wendell, Kuzma, or Looney, Kyrie? For me, it's probably Looney, Kyrie. And that's it. All right, chat, I got to get you guys out of here. I got to get into rundfs.com NBA VIP voice chat. Remember to take advantage of that V-Day sale, first 5, right? I don't know if anybody's used it yet, but it can only be used 5 times. So first 5 people that use that V-Day coupon code can lock in for the rest of the year. Otherwise, anything, 2-week pass, anything, whatever you want. Go to rundfs.com, get that out. Twitter.com/Gundacker. That's where you can link up with me if you got any more questions, comments, concerns. Otherwise, I will be back mañana. Same Warrior time, same Warrior channel. We're going to do 2 p.m. Eastern PrizePicks stream and a 3 p.m. Eastern DFS stream. What is the tomorrow's slate? Looks like 9 games. So yeah, we got hunkered down. We're gonna have a pretty sizable slate, so really from now until the All-Star break. So yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are crushing it. Appreciate those thumbs up. If you haven't subbed, hit that sub button. Back at it tomorrow. I love you guys. I hope you crush it. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.